But as dominant and composed as Caitlin Clark had been throughout the first half, everything shifted the moment the teams came back from the locker room. The atmosphere grew heavier, the game more physical, and emotions began to bubble to the surface. This wasn't just about execution anymore, it was about pride, pressure, and power. Every screen was harder, every bump more deliberate, and the margin for error vanished. And then, it happened. The play. A sharp foul that sent Caitlin to the floor, the kind of contact that instantly splits the arena in half. Some calling it defense, others calling it a message. But everyone in that building and watching at home could feel it. This wasn't just a hard play. This was a shot fired in a rivalry that had been building for more than a year. The foul wasn't from just any player. It was from someone with history, someone who knew exactly what kind of reaction it might provoke. And while the referees blew their whistles, the crowd erupted. Cameras zoomed in, sideline reporters leaned forward, and social media lit up within seconds. Clark didn't lash out, didn't throw her hands up, didn't engage in the kind of drama many were expecting. Instead, she stood up, adjusted her ponytail, and locked back in. Her silence said more than words ever could. This moment wasn't just a physical clash, it was symbolic of the scrutiny, the rivalries, and the target Caitlin wears every time she steps on the floor. And as she walked to the free throw line, shoulders squared and eyes unshaken, it was clear. This was no longer just a game. This was personal. This was war between rising icons. This was the WNBA stepping into a new, raw, emotionally charged era. And Caitlin Clark was standing at the very center of it. The second season didn't take long to heat up, but this time, it wasn't Caitlin Clark taking the hits, it was Caitlin delivering them. In the middle of a tense sequence, Clark chased down Angel Reese on a hard drive and committed a foul that stopped everyone in their tracks. It wasn't just any foul, it was a message. The refs called it flagrant, the crowd erupted, and social media instantly caught fire. In one moment, the rivalry reignited. Only this time, Caitlin was setting the tone. To anyone watching, it was inevitable. As soon as Reese broke open, you could almost feel it coming. Clark wasn't going to let her score easy. This wasn't reckless. It was fierce, calculated emotion. It was a collision of pride, frustration, and competitive fire. For months, Caitlin had taken hit after hit, from vets, critics, and doubters. But this time, she hit back. That foul said everything. It said, "I'm done playing the nice rookie. I'm not here to bow down. If you want physicality, I'll give it right back." And what followed was just as important as the foul itself. She didn't unravel. She didn't get flustered. She recalibrated, stepped right back into her rhythm, applying pressure the way only she can. If the flagrant got the headlines, what happened next reminded everyone why she's still the most dangerous player on the floor. Some players lose their edge after a moment like that. They force shots, let emotions take over, and spiral. But not Caitlin. She channeled that energy into execution. Coming off a tight screen, she drifted into open space just beyond the arc. The defense was half a step late, and that's all she needs. One smooth release. Pure form. Deep range. Message sent. While everyone else was still stuck on the foul, Caitlin had already flipped the page. She wasn't playing in the past, she was writing the future. This wasn't just fire. It was poise. The kind of composure that not only keeps the scoreboard moving but shifts the entire momentum of a game. Now with the defense pulled out to guard her deep range, she adjusted again, this time showing what else she had in her bag. She didn't rush. She waited. Patient. Calculating. She measured the defender, read the lean, and with a quick hesitation and a subtle shift in pace, she had her opponent off balance. A soft, deadly mid-range jumper, all control, all precision. The kind of shot that looks simple but reveals elite footwork, timing, and IQ. What makes Caitlin Clark unguardable isn't just her range. It's her ability to score at all three levels. Take away the three? She'll attack off the bounce. Cut off the drive? She'll stop on a dime and bury a pull-up. And when the defense gets caught guessing, that's when her passing takes over. Because Caitlin doesn't just see the open player, she sees the defensive collapse before it happens. She sees angles that most point guards never spot until it's too late. The defense swarmed her on a drive. She didn't panic. She threaded a bounce pass through two bodies, right into her teammates' hands. Perfect timing. Perfect placement. Not safe. Not routine. Just genius. And that's what makes her so relentless. If you take away her scoring, she'll slice you up as a facilitator. Caitlin Clark isn't just running an offense, she's rewriting how it functions.
And she does it all. Next play?
She grabbed a key rebound, her 10th of the night, completing her triple-double. And without missing a beat, she turned and fired a full-court dart to ignite the break. It didn't result in a bucket, but that wasn't the point. The point was, she starts plays.
She finishes them. She does it all.
Her rebounds aren't just statistics, they are launch pads. Her instincts aren't just reactions, they are weapons.
And if you thought that was her peak, think again.
That was just the beginning. In the next game, the lights got brighter, the pressure grew heavier, and Caitlin Clark rose even higher. If the first game was about skill, this one was about grit. Driving into the paint, defenders hanging on her like weights, she powered through contact and banked in the shot as the whistle blew. It was the kind of play that sends shockwaves to her teammates, to the league, to anyone still doubting. She's not just here to shoot, she's here to fight. Moments later, without hesitation, she came right back. The defense tried to crowd her, body her up, throw her off.
But Caitlin responded with calm.
Smooth footwork, controlled elevation, hand in her face, didn't matter.
Bucket.
It was a veteran move. Smart, disciplined, and cold-blooded.
Defenders don't know how to contain her anymore. Sag off? She'll bury the three. Press up? She'll drive by. Stay with her? She'll rise over. And once you're scrambling, that's when her playmaking unleashes. She doesn't just find the open look, she manufactures it. Driving into a collapsed lane, she whipped a behind-the-back pass without looking, straight into her teammate's shooting pocket. Not for flair, for function. Because when she's in her zone, even time seems to slow. And now, her teammates were starting to catch fire too. That's the final evolution, not just dominating, but elevating those around you. The ball started flying around, the spacing opened, and the rhythm clicked. She wasn't just carrying the load anymore, she was lifting the team. Unselfish plays. Crisp decisions. Trust flowing through every touch. That's leadership. That's chemistry. That's the difference between talent and greatness. And even in the middle of team brilliance, Caitlin never fades. She knows when to let others shine, and when to take it back. Because when the game tightens, and the pressure mounts, there's no one else you'd rather have with the ball in their hands. She's no longer reacting to the league. She's dictating it. Shot by shot. Pass by pass. Play by play. This is Caitlin Clark. And she's just getting started. The game was slipping away from Indiana. The energy was shifting, the momentum swinging in the opponent's favor. Someone had to step up and keep the team in the fight. Without hesitation, Caitlin Clark grabbed a crucial rebound with just 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. Then, she turned on the Jets. Clark drove hard to the basket and laid it in. It wasn't the flashiest play of the night, but in that moment, it was perhaps the most important. Because plays like this don't just put points on the board, they send a message to the whole team. Follow me. We're not going away. This is what fighting back looks like. Not just with flashy threes or highlight reel passes, but with gritty buckets in moments that demand more than skill, they demand leadership. Once Caitlin steadied the ship, she flipped the switch again. Instead of slowing down, she went right back to one of her deadliest weapons. After battling inside for tough layups, most players would take a breath, slow the pace, or reset the offense. But Caitlin Clark doesn't wait for the perfect moment. She creates it. When the defense dropped just one step too far, she made them pay immediately. From a difficult angle, she grabbed a second chance opportunity, fired away, and knocked down a three. It was out of rhythm, but it landed like a knockout punch. The kind of shot that doesn't just change the scoreboard, it silences the crowd, forces a timeout, and flips momentum on its head. Clark didn't need a screen. She didn't need to set anything up. She just read the defense, stepped into space, and delivered. And while that shot got people on their feet, the next one proved it wasn't luck. It was surgical. Some players have range. Some have rhythm. But when Caitlin Clark finds both, she becomes unstoppable. One possession after drilling a deep three off the dribble, she came right back down the floor and didn't even blink. That's just signature Caitlin Clark. She will launch, oh yes. This wasn't a heat check, it was a heat warning. The defense knew what was coming, they just couldn't do anything about it. Caitlin needed no extra room. She rose up from just behind the arc and delivered again, with the kind of confidence only the elite carry. These are the moments that break games open. Not just because of the 6 quick points, but because of what they do psychologically. Defenders hesitate. Teammates get energized. Coaches run out of answers.
In back-to-back possessions, Caitlin didn't just close the gap. She flipped the vibe of the entire game. And the most impressive part? She made it look routine. After knocking down those back-to-back threes and forcing the defense to extend beyond the arc, Caitlin Clark didn't get comfortable.
She didn't force another deep shot or settle for isolation.
Instead, she used the gravity she created, every defender leaning her way, as an opportunity to shift into pure playmaker mode. Because when defenders overcommit, all it takes is a sliver of space. And Caitlin doesn't just see the sliver, she delivers right through it. There's the drag screen, bouncing to Boston. Boston lays it in. With pressure coming and the lane collapsing, Caitlin whipped a laser through a tight window.
It wasn't an obvious pass. It wasn't safe.
But it hit her teammate in stride, threading the ball between defenders like a quarterback firing into double coverage, except with zero room for error. This is the part of her game that turns heads across the league. Everyone knows she can shoot. But it's her anticipation, timing, and willingness to take risks that makes her such a complete offensive weapon. Her passes don't just reach their targets, they arrive at the exact moment they need to. And just like that, another possession ended with Caitlin dictating the outcome, not with a shot, but with precision control and an unshakable understanding of how to bend the game to her will. The start of the season told us one thing: Caitlin Clark didn't spend the off-season soaking in praise.
She spent it sharpening her edge.
She came into this season with a target on her back, a chorus of doubters in her ear, and the weight of a league expecting her to either explode or collapse. What she gave instead was something even more dangerous: evolution. She's not just surviving the physicality, she's meeting it head-on. That flagrant foul on Angel Reese?
That wasn't a meltdown. It was a message. A turning point.
A clear shift from rookie to rival. From playing defense against the hate to going on offense with it. She's not here to avoid conflict. She's here to win. Period. In just 2 games, Caitlin showed the league she's no longer asking for space, she's taking it. She's not hoping to be respected, she's forcing the conversation. With every three-pointer, every pass, every drive into contact, she's flipping the narrative from "can she handle it?"
to "how do we handle her?"
So for anyone still wondering if the fire from her rookie year would fade, look closer.
Because the flame didn't die. It got hotter. Caitlin Clark isn't just back. She's fighting. And she's far from finished.